Are we live? We are alive. And today, we're going to dive deep once again in this topic. You've seen the title, you see the thumbnail, you know what's up. It's time to talk about personal finance. Now, personal finance is a very important topic, especially if you're starting your financial journey. You need to know a lot about that to start in the right direction. So, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about some fun stories about how I started and how I manage my finance, and I want to share you a lot about personal finance, financial statement. We're going to discuss about a lot of that. I believe that's going to help you start on the right path. Coming up after the intro.
Hey, yeah, it's all about wealth engineering. Might be something that you're not used to. It's okay, cause I'm here to introduce you to concepts. Time to grow and make big moves. All about crypto, come see. Stocks and business, yes indeed. Got the info that you need. Hosted by my homie JC. Hey, yeah, wealth engineering. Stacking and stacking it up. It's time to generate wealth. Till you living like Scrooge McDuck. Hey, wealth engineering. It's time to show you the game. Till you living like Richie Rich. Till you ballin' like Bruce Wayne. Hey, you ain't gotta be an expert, no problem. It don't really matter where you at, just start it. It'll take time, hard work, and
What's up, guys? This is JC, and welcome to the Wealth Engineering Podcast. If you're new here, I create content to motivate millennials and increasing their net worth, retire early, and build generational wealth. I'm very I have an interest. I have a background in engineering and a huge interest in investing, and I want to bring you along with me on the path to financial journey. Now, how do we achieve that? We achieve that by investing in stocks, crypto, real estate, and business. So, if these are some things that are interesting you, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell. On this channel, we're going to have a slight focus towards crypto because I believe in this decade this is the best place to put your money. This is the best place to make the most out of your money. With that said, guys, a very interesting topic we're going to talk about today. I'm very excited. This is, I think, if you want to start your financial journey on the right path, these are steps that you need to at least understand, if not apply, but at the very least, be disciplined about your finance. We're going to talk about a very key important subjects today. So I'm very excited about that because this is one of the streams that I do a lot of important streams that I like a lot, but this is definitely an important stream, and you might have to watch it over and over again until you grasp all the concept that I'm going to talk about today. But I promise you, I will keep it short. I'll keep it straightforward and simple. That's the end of the day. I wanna make building wealth simple. So I'm going to keep it simple, and I'll be looking to interact with you guys on the chat. But what I will need your help with is, as you come in, please hit the like button, guys, and please share. Please share the stream to as many people as possible because many people need to understand that these are the steps that you're going to have to apply if you want to get out of the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. This is exactly what I have done to help me save some money to put in cryptocurrencies, to put in stocks. And that's exactly what I was able to reach my portfolio to 100K last year, is because of these steps that I'm going to teach you today. So it's a very important stream, it's very serious, but we're going to have fun also. I'm going to share you some silly stories, and let's look into that. So, but before we dive deep, let me go in the chat and pay my dues to my OGs right in the chat. Shout out to you, Moment with Diva, dropping my likes off to bed. Thank you very much for dropping your likes. How are you doing, Aaron B? Let me see. With a question already. All right, JC, how did you manage to get confident in public speaking as an introvert? First of all, I'm not an introvert. By no mean I am an introvert, but also I guess you could say I'm not that confident because of I don't think I speak English very well. So and I struggle speaking yeah, so I wouldn't say I'm confident, but it's just a matter of willpower. I just try, put myself out there, force myself to be better. Because if I'm putting myself in front of the public, I better be good at it, right? I better be active. So that's basically what I do. force myself. I go live on YouTube, so it forces me to practice every day to become better. It slightly improves my English, my communication skills, and I get better at it, right? So you can hear sometimes I mumble, or sometimes it's hard for me to put my thoughts into words, so I hesitate. So these are still things that I go through, but I just I just don't care about it and keep practicing at it. So I would say, yeah, as long as you're putting the work, focus only on what you can control, the rest will come. And that's how I manage to be confident in a way about it. And the more you practice, the more confident you are. All right. I hope that answers your question. But thank you for your comment. Shout out to you, Mr. Peter Investor M. Shout out to you. How are you doing, Carl Saint Auguste? Yes, you guys like the intro here. Let me see what's going on here. Sandra Muck, how are you doing? Hello, hello. I don't think I've seen you here in this chat before, but thank you for coming here. And please make sure you hit the like button. And I hope you guys are enjoying the stream that I have ready for you today. Yes, this intro is good. Thank you very much. I'm not a millennial, bro, but Gen Z, so don't forget about me. Absolutely, no worries, man. And I think Gen Z have the most to gain out of this channel, because if you could apply what I had to learn when I was 30, 31, 32 years old, if you could apply that early in your life, man, you're way ahead of people that are in the 30s, people that are in the 40s. If you could apply that, you're way ahead in life. And I really encourage Gen Z as well to connect. I'm actually going planning to start a channel and like an account on TikTok, just so that I can reach to more Gen Z. But in all in due time, all in due time. All right. Mike, drop that rhymes. Thank you. um, yes, guys, please hit the like up. It really helps. Shout out to the chat. Thank you, Mr. Professor Black Ops. I've seen you on these streets. Thank you for your support. And let me see, lashes. Yes, thank you. And we'll stay connected, guys. We'll actually do a stream this Sunday where I'll invite Lashes to talk more about her stories. I think there is a lot we can learn from her journey to financial independence, guys. So one of the key steps we need to get to financial independence is to master your personal finance. No one's going to care more about your money more than you. All right. Let me repeat that again. Let me rewind it back. No one is going to care more about your money other than you. All right. And personal finance is basically your accounting of for yourself, right? It's basically be accounting. You counting your own money. You managing your money, and we're going to go into that. Let me get that out of the way very quick. Shout out to you, Mr. Big Bad Bull. And thank you for this super chat, $10 super chat. Salute, my brother. Love what you're doing. YouTube streets crowded tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And guys, I'm actually working on a project right now for 10,000 subscribers. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to reach that this year, but if I do, it's going to be fun. I'm actually working on a project right now, and super chat like that will you guys will definitely enjoy what I have to what I'm working on a back end when it's time to unveil it. I guess you'll really enjoy what I have to work on. But thank you again for these super chats, and we'll get into it. All right, guys. So what is personal finance? I guess you could break it down towards, right? Personal finance. Personal is you, and finance is basically anything that covers investing money, making money, right? Actually, if you go to a website that I like a lot, and I encourage a lot of people, if you're starting your financial journey, I encourage you guys to go to this website. It's Investopedia, and then it breaks down a lot of concepts, make it super simple to understand. But it's not like you need to know exactly what personal finance is, but it's good to have an idea about what it means, right? Personal finance is a term that covers managing your money as well as saving and investing. All right, managing your money as well as saving and investing. So that's basically what it is. And if you want to go to if you want to be financially independent, guys, these are required steps that you have to master. So you better get to it early. It uncompensates. It encompasses budgeting, banking, insurance, mortgage, investments, retirement planning, and tax and estate planning. All right. So a lot of it goes into personal finance. And it doesn't necessarily have to be you that manage all that. All right. But at least when you're in the beginning steps, it's better that if you do it on your own and later graduate to a level where you can hire like a tax specialist, a tax accountant, uh, and taking care of that for you. All right. The term often refers to the entire industry that provides financial services to individual and a household and advise the term about financial and investment opportunities, right? I would say also the term also refers to people in the niche of actually teaching about financial education as well. So that's what it means. Personal finance is basically managing your money as well as saving and investing. And yes, so what I'm going to talk to you about today is our principle about personal finance, things that you need to know. And also, guys, I'm going to share with you some things that you don't hear online, things that I've learned directly from my mentor. I actually had to pay my mentor, guys, to learn these things. And they may sound common sense to you, but I promise you, they're not necessarily taught in school. They're not necessarily taught online. I was actually doing some research about this topic on YouTube, and I didn't see anyone bring that up, which is interesting. But it's a concept almost everyone I've heard about before, and many investors, long-term investors, knows about it, right? But I don't hear that apply to personal finance, and I'm going to talk about that today because it's going to be a very interesting topic. And now, let's break it down. So, what are the goals that you can focus on when you do your personal finance? And let me let me shout out Mr. Cashflow Hunter very quick. Tax, I'm telling you, yes, he's been sharing some documents, some videos on Discord this morning. Thank you for your videos. And I was looking for a tax specialist, so I actually contacted this guy. We'll stay connected, but join the Discord, guys. The link are in the descriptions below. If you want to have a conversation, if you want to join the wealth engineering community, join a like-minded group, all focused towards building wealth. That's definitely something that can help you, motivate you, and share pass the knowledge transfer along the way, right? So the Discord is free, but if you want the exclusive access to the information, you better join the Patreon. This is where I share with you inside information in the crypto investing world about some cryptocurrencies that you may not have heard of, or you may not know some information. And based on that information alone, your decision might be entirely different. So equip yourself with good information, and that's how you equip yourself with good um, investing opportunities. So make sure you hit the links in the description if you're interested. Or also, if you have been investing 2 years or less, make sure you check out my technical investor course. I give you all of these basic principles you need to know before you start investing. So make sure you check it out. And I actually have an entire module on personal finance, on budgeting. But today I'm actually going to break it down, give you like a summary of all that and give it to you guys. So I'm going to leave this content on YouTube, but I break it down even deeper on my course. All right. So, principles of personal finance. Again, it's the management of your money, but a couple things you should look into. Maybe you can break it down into two goals, right? First, you build an emergency fund. Okay. So you build an emergency fund. It could be anywhere between 3 to 6 months, depending on your personality. So that's the part that I don't hear many people talking about. Me, for example, I'm a risky kind of guy. I like to take risk. I'm comfortable with taking risk. And if you are young, right, you can afford to take a little bit of risk, right? So for me, 3 month emergency fund kind of make a little bit more sense because I have more money now to actually go and take risk. with, right? If you are more on a conservative side, you don't like risk, you're not tolerant about of risk, you definitely want to have a 6 month emergency fund before you do anything else. All right. So your first priority should be building that emergency fund. Should anything happen to you from your job, should anything happen to you where you cannot work, cannot maintain your income, that emergency fund is here. It's keeping you quiet and it's giving you time to plan, to strategize, and your next course of action. Shout out to Tony. Tony, we had Tony Berry, the first guest we had on this podcast, and he was telling a story about, not even a story, it's a fact that most people, whether it's Canada or United States, most people are a job fired away or layoff away of bankruptcy, right? You they're like 3 months away of bankruptcy. That's what he was sharing, and that makes so much sense because so many people don't even have an emergency fund. They're not working on their personal finance and focusing on those minimum principles, right? On those bare principles. They're not working on building an emergency fund. Now, now, you guys are here. You guys are here in the Wealth Engineering channel. I see six of you are still here. Thank you very much. Make sure you hit the like button. I'm going to share with you a gem right here. I'm going to share with you a gem that many people do not mention to you about personal finance and building emergency fund. All right. When you have the cash, you put it in your bank account. It's not doing anything. All right. It's not doing anything. It's just there in case something happened. Now, if something never happens, you still have the cash there, but you don't have any benefit from your cash. Now, depending on your level of comfort, this strategy might be interesting to you, but you should look into crypto staking or crypto yield farming. Why? Because I mean, yield farming is risky, but there are pairs that you can do. There are investment that you can do where you invest in what is called a stable coin, meaning the cryptocurrency is not meant to go up or down in value. It's supposed to be reflecting the price of the US dollar. So from that perspective, imagine you converted your paycheck, your emergency fund into a coin that is meant to stay stable on the US dollar. But the advantage of that is you could also stake that cryptocurrency, meaning you lend it to a platform and in return they give you interest in that payment, in that investment you made, right? Some platform like crypto.com could pay you up to 10%, 12%, even 14%, depending on your location, on your investment. So imagine you have 3 to 6 months emergency fund that is cash, not doing anything. And on top of that, you're collecting 14% per year APY, average annual percentage yield on your investment. That is the game that I'm giving you guys that you will not hear anywhere online. I haven't seen anywhere that mention combining crypto, still find a way to save your investments and earn interest on your emergency fund. And why I'm saying that, because when you want to liquidate cryptocurrency, it's pretty easy. Not only that, it transfers in your wallet very fast, right? So if you have an emergency, you don't need you if you had it in stock, you would have to wait for the market to open, right? You have to sell your stocks only in business hours from 9 to 4, right? In the east, 9:30 to 4 in the Eastern Standard Time. So if you something happened to you in a weekend, you can't really liquidate your stocks, right? But in crypto, it's 24/7. You can transfer your money pretty quick, right? So it's okay. It could stay in a crypto account as opposed to your bank account, especially if you're collecting an interest. Remember that cash flow value investing? You make the money now and you make the money in the future. Well, if you are going to stake a stable coin, it's not necessarily going to appreciate over time, but you're collecting cash flow on it. And that is much, much, much better than just leaving that amount of cash in the bank, not doing anything, just collecting dust, waiting for something to happen. Something may never happen. It's good to have that money, but at least it's always better to have the money working for you and make sure every single dollar you have is helping you increase your net worth, retire early, build generational wealth. You got to put them soldiers to work and don't let them slide. All right. So that is definitely the number one game I wanted to share with you today. And I have more. I have more to share with you about personal finance. So to recap, guys, first goal of the personal finance is to build an emergency fund. All right. Depending on your personality, if you're a risky guy like me, you definitely want to have at least 3 months. If you are a conservative person, you want to have at least 6 months of emergency fund. And once you build that up, put those dollars to work. If you leave it in your saving account in the bank, you're not going to collect less than 1% on interest on that. But if you move that to stable coin in cryptocurrencies like a platform like crypto.com that can pay you 12%, 14% APY on your stable coin, if you stake it, it's not going, no, the crypto market is going down, your stable coin stays flat. The crypto market is going up, stable coin stays flat. It's not meant to appreciate value, right? However, the purchase power is guarded and you're still collecting that cash flow. And that is the game I wanted to share with you today. Again, I have more to come. With that said, let me go in the chat and see what's up. And give me a second. Salute to you before the billions. Salute to the chat. Thank you for dropping by. Mr. Peter Investor M, income taxes versus sales taxes versus estate taxes. Yes, there's all of them are you can they're all of them have a different rate, tax rate, and you can play a lot with that if you want to reduce your taxes, right? If you know what to do. But these are kind of like a bigger, more, higher level in the personal finance. But we're going to dive a little bit deeper on that today. I have something prepared for you. Let me make sure it's there. Actually, I'll show you. I'll pull that later. But cash flow. This is non. Oh man, in Quebec, guys. I don't know if you guys heard in Quebec. Apparently, they're talking about a tax for non-vaccinated people. Can you imagine this, guys? So you definitely want to work on your budget, guys, on your financial, on your portfolio, so that you can purchase your freedom. Right? Maybe move to another city, another country that is tax free. Shout out to Cashflow Hunter. We were discussing about that on a Discord this morning. And yes, guys, I started paying my land on the Cayman Islands, and I'm gonna be looking more this year on how to strategize my finance, design purposely to avoid taxes, and I'm seriously considering of being an expat. This is I've been thinking about that for a little bit more than a year now, and yes, guys, I think it's time. I think it's time to, for me at least, to start pulling the trigger. And I might have to make a decision this year about that. But anyway, that's basically what I wanted to share very quickly. How are you doing, Mister? Let me see. Let me see. Hey, how are you doing, the intentional millionaire? How are you doing? Thank you for coming here. I saw you had a stream earlier today about real estate. Definitely interesting stream. If you guys want to know more about lashes, guys, go check it out. And I'll invite lashes as well so that we can continue this conversation and hopefully we can connect Mr. and the intentional millionaire about another debate. I think I have a great idea for a topic that you're going to enjoy. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it because it has to do with debt. All right. And then we're going to talk about debt as well, guys. And personal finance. Part of it is to manage your own debt. All right. So we're going to be talking about that too. So thank you for everyone in the chat. And again, shout out to right now the sponsor of the stream, Mr. Big Bad Bull. Shout out to you for sponsoring the stream as of now. All right, guys, let's go to the next point. So personal finance, the other goals you should have, the major goal of a personal finance is budgeting and tracking your expenses, right? So this is something that is crucial, and a lot of your time when you work on your plan, your personal finance, is going to be budgeting and tracking your expenses, right? It requires discipline. It's something that is very simple, but trust me when I say this, it requires discipline, and it's consistency. You have to stay consistent in the game if you want, if you want to achieve that. For example, your first goal might be to track your expenses and budget so that you can achieve 3 to 6 months in your emergency fund, right? So that could be your first goal. And then later, what I actually recommend is you have a design, and I'll show you different plan strategies. You have a design where you go out there, you have the emergency fund, and then later you actually start investing, right? You start investing right away, whether it's stocks, whether it's crypto. If you're starting, I actually recommend you start in stock and crypto first before real estate. Now, that may be controversy, but that is my honest opinion, because it does not require $10,000 $20,000 to start. And in crypto, you can start with $100, right? You can start on a stock with $100. If that's going to help you, encourage you, to motivate you and save, go at it. Go at it. Go nuts. Especially in crypto, if you time the market right, guys, that $100 can turn into $1,000 in no time. And trust me when I say this, I've made this I experienced that last year, and you'll understand exactly how I did that, guys, when I share with you my plan. My plan. Let me actually make sure I have this open, because I want to share with you guys a template that I was working on. And as you're working in your budgeting, guys, one thing you can do is you can you can either create an Excel sheet where you track all your expenses, you list them all the way there. Or what I would recommend you do, maybe you can purchase budget planner, right? Shout out to Tasha from the Major Change Group. I know she loves budgeting. She loves budget planner. I believe she offer either a free tool that you can use, or a tool that she designed on her own that you can purchase for about $25, but that could help you with your budget. So I definitely encourage you guys to look into something like that, because yes, guys, it's very important. It's a step that you cannot, like, you cannot go through without mastering this step. If you really want to build a foundation of financial empire, you got to start with a strong foundation. And how do you do that is by being disciplined, by building a good saving account that you can apply in different perspective. And how are you going to build that? It's by budgeting, by saving, and by applying that cash allocation to your investments. All right. So I'm going to break it down, different plans you can use depending on your personality, depending on what your goals, what you're trying to do. But give me a second. I just want to make sure I have my template open. Let's see. Let's see. Is that the template? Yeah, that is the template I was working on. Put that here somewhere so you can see it. Yeah, I have it here. All right, just to be ready when it's time to share it with you. Um, so guys, the how can you achieve those plans? It here's how I actually did not know. I didn't do any research about it. I did it on my own, and after I did the research, I realized, oh my god, I was on the right track. So how what I did was I broke down my expenses, right? Let's say I have $4,000 a month coming in. Let's say. So what I would try to do is keep up 50% of my expense, that 50% of my income monthly will actually pay for all my living expenses. That's what I did. Now, what is actually recommended to do is you do 50% that pays your needs, right? And your need can be your car. Maybe you need your car to go to work, car insurance, right? Rent, right? That is definitely a need. You got to take care of your need, guys. Rent, food. This is a big need, right? shelter, food, um, paying your electricity bills and water and all that. These are your needs. So at least 50% on of your income monthly should go to your needs. Then 25% should go to your wants, right? And then maybe another 25% should go to your saving, right? Now, if you're saving aggressive like me, 25% is not enough. But at the very least, what I actually encourage people to do is to at least put 25% of your monthly income back in your savings. Now, that remember that savings could either be for your emergency fund, and after you build that emergency fund, you allocate that same 25% back to stocks or cryptocurrencies that can multiply your saving even faster, right? So that's what I recommend to do. But your boy, your boy here, Mr. JC, I was aggressive. I was aggressive, man. I actually managed to have my living expenses less than $2,000 a month, and I kept that going for a while. And yes, I that allowed me to build a serious portfolio in no time. And guys, that's the beauty of it too. At first, when you start, you don't see it growing fast, but later, little do you know, you put 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 every month. By the time you finish the year, man, you're going to have $12,000. You do that the second year, $24,000. And once you see that portfolio growing over time, and if you do investing it in stocks and it appreciates over time, or you invest it in crypto, it appreciates over time, it really motivates you to go aggressive and even put more money in. So that's exactly what happened to your boy GC, and that's why at some points I definitely average 50% for almost 2 years of 50% of my monthly income would go to my saving and my investing, right? For average, meaning some months I would actually do 60%, and most of the time I was above 50% in these 2 years, right? So that's what I did. But guys, let me tell you a story. Do you guys want to know the story about how crazy I was? Crazy measures I took to save money as I was building my portfolio, guys. Let me know. Let me type a one if you want to know this story. I can go sidetrack a little bit, but I think that's going to provide you some good insights on the discipline you might need, and if you want to build that portfolio, if you want to build that, start that journey to financial freedom. Definitely, you need the discipline. So let me type a one if you want to know. If not, I'll move with the topic, but I'll be looking for ones here. So I see there is six people. If at least three ones, I'll move forward with the story. But I think it's a very interesting story, guys, on crazy measures I've taken. Man, 55% of your monthly income to allocate that to your savings. You gotta live frugal. You gotta live frugally, to say the least. All right. So let me move with the content. I didn't see any ones. Oh, wait, I see one. While we there, I'll go very quickly on the chat. Um, Honestly, the risk of inflation, I plan to attack the Paxos Gold. I protect myself from inflation and get some APY. Physic gold cannot do it. Um, hmm. I would always choose physical gold over paper gold in a way. Paxos, yes, you could make a case that it can give you some sort of cash flow, right? Cash flow value investing. I agree with you. I'm always going to support cash flow value investing, and yes, so there is a lot of value in gold. There is a lot of value in gold, so I definitely appreciate that. But the reason why I'm mentioning that is don't underestimate physical gold. Now, I have a with that said, I don't buy gold right now, and I don't prioritize gold. Oh, I see you got two ones, one more ones, and I'll share that story. Yes, I don't buy gold, I don't prioritize gold, and there is a specific reason I do it. Now, this is the secrets I have in my course. For anyone who go through my course, the technical investors, you will know exactly why I don't buy gold. I don't prioritize gold. It does not mean I don't plan to buy gold in the future. It's just that right now, I focus more on cryptocurrencies. There's a very good reason why I would do that. And there are some certain stocks I'm eyeballing right now that I'm going to dive deep into them. But uh, but yeah, if you guys want to hear that story, another one, and then I'll share it. But crazy measures, guys, crazy measures that I've taken to save. But that's what's required, guys. That's what's required if you want that financial journey. Let me see. Oh, thank you for having me on your platform. No worries. Hey, it was very fun to see the intentional millionaire trying to control himself, not to be too excited. It was very fun. Thank you for your comment, lovely Valence. Thank you very much, Aaron B. Thank you very much. All right, so let me see Cash Flow Hunter. I don't really give a one. Typing with your comments, bro. Gold did not have a great performance in 2021, right? Man, sure, sure, of course, I agree. I'm not a, I don't look at an investment per month. I don't look at an investment per year. I look at it for 10 years, right? That's basically what I do. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. That's basically what I do. And that's why I do my research and I look at try to estimate the market. I try to place myself where most people are not at before the masses. I try to go on an asset that is undervalued before the masses and just wait, chilling until the mass realize, oh my God, I need to buy that investment. And I'm right here for them to sell it to them when they want it, right? That's how I ride the wave. That's why I ride the market. Now, let me tell you guys a story about some crazy story ways that I've been keeping myself to make sure I invest out at least 50% of my monthly income back to my saving account, especially in cryptocurrencies. So, as for those who don't know, I used to work as an engineer. So, as an engineer, you get a good salary, right? It's not like six figures, but it's above the average. It's at least, I would say, on average 25,000 at the very least from the average. Then, depending on your position, depending on your seniority, you could make at least double what the average Canadian is making as an engineer, right? Actually, that's pretty much where I'm at right now. But a good salary, and my wife also is an engineer, so that's the interesting part, right? So we're both engineers, and we're working there. We got some good salaries, but like I said, we used to live in Toronto, so Toronto, paycheck to paycheck. But I actually started working on my budget as soon as I moved back to Montreal. So right now I'm living in Montreal, and one of the reason we did that is because the rent in Montreal is much cheaper, right? Much cheaper. At the time we were thinking of buying a house, to build a family. Later I decided not to buy a house. She did it. She went on her own way and I bought a property. Me, I purposely did not want to, and there is a reason for that. But but you know, back then we still moved to Montreal and we were enjoying lower rent. That's definitely one thing you guys need to know. If you are working on your budget, you serious about financial independence, you need you need to keep your living expenses, or at the very least your needs, which includes your rent and your food, um about 50% of your monthly income, right? It's not easy to do. Trust me, I get it. Especially in a city like Toronto, it is not easy to do. But this is why I would recommend you guys, if you're living in a place that it's not easy to keep 50% of your monthly income and apply that to your needs, move to a different area where it is possible. And now we have no excuse, guys, because now we have the remote economy, right? You can work virtually, you can work remotely. There's a lot of jobs that you can do that, you apply that. If your jobs is one of them, you should definitely take that into your advantage and apply that. But let's get back to the story. Me and my wife, we have good salaries, right? And one of the things we used to do is once a week I would bring her to a restaurant and we like to travel to like try out any all the restaurants in our area within like a 3 kilometer radius. So we just go on Google, find a restaurant, and then go at it. Next week, and we'll try a different restaurant. So it's kind of cool, right? Every week you have good food testing. You're having a good food, But when I started saving and I was calculating how much money I was actually spending every week on those restaurants, then I'm like, you know what? I gotta cut this down. I know I love you, baby, but hey, I love my money too. I love my money too, so I can't be doing things like this anymore. So I cut all that. But the problem is, me, I don't like cooking, right? I don't like cooking. And actually, my wife too. So we both do not like cooking. And what happened, guys, is the way we go is, so it is one of these modern relationship where it's 50-50. Guys, 50-50 partnership do not work. I do not recommend 50-50 partnership. All right. But again, in our relationship, it's 50-50. So one week I would cook and one week she would cook. Right. So whenever it's my week to cook, what I would do is on a Sunday, I would cook for the entire week. Because just, I just spent 3 hours cooking. That's it. I'm done. Tired of this. I hate cooking. So that's what I would do on Sunday. The problem with that strategy is by the time you reach to Friday night, Saturday morning, yeah, the fridge is empty. The fridge is empty. And also what I would do is not only I would bring her out on Saturday night to try out a new restaurants, sometimes we would split the bill. Often we would split the bill, but also it's on Friday night, I would order food, right? Food from takeout, Uber Eats and all that. So you have the Uber Eats, which could add up to like 40, 45, even $50 per order. Then you have that restaurant, right? The next day, which is at least like 60, even between 60 and $100 every time that I would spend every week, right? So that was talking about $150 on my budget right here. So when I started budgeting and I was serious at it, I cut it all that. So that means no ordering food on Friday, no restaurant on Saturday. The problem is the fridge is empty. So one day I'm looking at the fridge, man. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to order food. Hell no. And then my stomach is like, oh, I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do? So I'm like, I just started drinking water, guys. I just started drinking water. Your boy is like, hell no. And keep in mind, I'm having an engineering salary, right? We're talking about almost twice at the time, it was almost twice as much as the average Canadian. Yet I'm leaving myself again, all my living expenses were below like 50, less than 50% of my salary, monthly salary. So I'm living like very frugally. I do not want to spend any money. And even to buy like ordering food when I'm hungry, I did not want to do it. But that day, guys, that day, man, I was starting feeling weak. Oh man, I was starting feeling dizzy. So what I did then, I'm like, all right, if I don't eat something, I'll die, man. I don't think I'll make it. So I'm like, you know what? I know I said I'm not going to order, but let's see if we could find some sort of, like settlement, right? Maybe we can find a way in the middle. So in Montreal, guys, I don't. For the ones who are talking in the States, you're probably familiar with a convenience store, and I have a convenience store about 2 minute away, 2 minute walk away from where I live. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go check at the convenience store, see maybe what I can grab quickly to eat. Cause man, I'm not going to spend another $45 because I gotta stay dedicated to my budget. And side note, what I do, guys, and that's another game. The minute the paycheck comes into my account, that same day I wire that money straight to my crypto account. That assuming all my things are paid, right? All my I have my emergency fund. So once I have my emergency fund, The paycheck comes in. I'm actually going to have a paycheck tomorrow. So paycheck comes in, boom, all of it is gone. Well, not. I have two paycheck a month. One is to pay my living expenses, and then the next one is to all of it goes to cryptocurrencies, right? So that's what I do, guys. All of it, every month, all of my second paycheck of the month, all of it gone, 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 disappear. So I put it so it's not necessarily easy for me to liquidate and then start spending it right away. Like I would have to sell the crypto, transfer it, copy the address. That alone doesn't encourage me to do it, right? So, so now imagine this, right? I have basically $0 in my account, in my checking account. My money is in cryptocurrencies. I'm hungry. Well, I had a little bit, right? But just not, I did not have 45 that day. Did not have $45. I did not have $150. I had less than that, right? And then all my money is in cryptocurrency. I'm looking at my portfolio. I'm like, man, look at this. My portfolio is looking good, but then my stomach is growling. So I walk into the convenience store, and in Montreal, guys, we for those who don't know, we have this convenience store brand called Couche-Tard. So it's a brand. It's basically a convenience store, but in Montreal we call it a dépanneur, right? We call it a dépanneur, and the dépanneur, it comes from the word pan. In French, pan means, let's say your car breaks down, you have a pan, then you're going to need someone to dépanner you, which basically means someone is going to fix whatever pan you have, right? So dépanneur, in the sense of a convenience store, is, hey, when things are rough out there, right? And then you have this store on a corner of the streets where you can grab anything you want. So I went to this dépanneur. I walked in and I saw they have sandwiches all packed and these three slices of bread for like $5. Looking at my account, I'm like, all right, I could afford that. I could afford that, but I'm like, man, I'm so hungry right now. Three slices is not going to make it. I'm like, I need more. And then I'm looking at the chips. I'm looking at all that, and it's starting to add up to like $14. I'm like, nah, man, that's too much. Because if I have $14 with tax, you're gonna be more than my budget right here. So you know what your boy did, man? Your boy did madness, man. I look at a piece of bread. It was a bag of bread. I think it had 24 slices in it. It's like cheap bread, man. It doesn't taste like anything, but hey, your boy's on a budget. So I bought that bread, man. The bread was like $3. I'm like, great. And then I bought a peanut butter, a very small peanut butter. So overall, it was like $7 and plus tax. And I bought like a lemonade Gatorade juice, and that's it. So less than $10, guys. I had, and that's how I managed to appease my me being very hungry. And why am I doing that, guys? Because I want to stay disciplined to my budget. Whatever it takes, I'll be disciplined, even if I have to eat crappy bread. When a couple months ago I was doing a fancy restaurant, or I was having Uber delivering my food, but now that I'm dedicated to my portfolio. I'm eating peanut butter bread, guys, and Gatorade juice. And I eat a lot of Gatorade juice and peanut butter breads every week, man. Every week, to make sure I do not go over my budget, to make sure my portfolio is going. And I did that for over a year, guys. Over a year. Now, mind you, my wife is like, at some point, it's like, what are we gonna do? I'm gonna keep doing this because I remember them days. I remember them days where we used to go to a restaurant. But no, I'm like, baby, you gotta. I love you, but I love my money too. She's like, f that. She just started ordering Uber every day, and my wife is ordering Uber. I'm not, and I'm like, baby, do you love me? That's all you gotta say, man. Do you love me? and then you grab a little piece here and there, and that's man, that's what I've done. That's what I've do, man. If you have to put some games, if you have to tell your wife, your girlfriend, you'll love her, whatever it takes, stay disciplined, guys. Do not do not go over your budget. And one thing that could help you with your budget is take the money away. Make it hard for you to actually spend that money, because when the temptation will come, guys, you'll be very tempted to spend that money in. So whatever it takes, take that money, put it somewhere else. And yes, guys, that's the crazy story, man. Peanut butter from and bread, cheap bread from a convenience store. would walk I would walk to a kushtar like that, 2 minutes away from where I live, every Friday night, man, and then grab same thing, same Gatorade, same bread, same peanut butter, and splash on it, man, splash on it. I actually started enjoying it. After a while, you just started enjoying it. But that's what it takes, man. That is what it takes if you're really serious about building wealth. But let me tell you guys, if I did not do that, my portfolio would not have been reaching 100K this year. Everything I did for 2 years, almost 2 years, is the reason why my portfolio reached basically 100K this year, because of all that. Now imagine I would put $1,000 Canadian a month in cryptocurrencies. Technically, 2 years, that would be 24,000, right? That wouldn't be 100K, right? Well, it was over 100K. Why? Because my entire portfolio, um, actually, I even end up saving 24,000, to be honest with you. I save way less than that. And still managed to reach 100K. Why? Because many of my investments 10x. So gradually, my entire portfolio started 10x, meaning 10 times the initial money that I put in, right? So first, you got to put in the money though. And sometimes that money you have to take some sacrifice. So what is recommended when when you do your personal finance is 50% goes in your needs, and your needs are your rent, your food, right? Maybe you might need a car to go to work, fine. Then 20% in your wants, and 20% in your savings. But if you're a guy like me, and if you're serious, and if you could afford it, and especially shout out to Aaron B, you were mentioning that you're from generational Z and not a millennial. Especially if you are a millennial, man, or sorry, especially if you are a generational Z, this is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. You put at least 50% of your monthly income, and you stay consistent for at least a year. You invest that money smart in the market, man, you're good. You off to a perfect start, and that will put you way above I would say, at least 90% of the population in your country. At least. Because how many people have a positive net worth? I'm not even talking about like 10,000, 100,000 net worth. I'm talking about just positive. How many people even have a positive net worth? Not so much, right? Many people are still living paycheck to paycheck. How do you get out of the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle? You become disciplined at working in your finance. No one's going to take care of your finance more than you, right? You work on your finance, your personal finance, and on your budgeting and tracking your expenses. Now, I'm going to share with you a template that I've been working on to um, this is my own template, right? My own template that I'm working on to help me track my expenses and all that. But I actually recommend you to look for your own or design your own. But I'm just, the purpose of me sharing that with you tonight is really to share, to give you a visual, an idea on how to put those theoretical things that we're talking about into practicals, and that you can start applying it. All right. So that's the purpose of me sharing what I'm going to share with you later on tonight. But before we get there, let me go on the chat and see what's up. Need watches. Salute to the chat. Salute. What's good, everyone? What's good to you, sir? K Business Podcast. How are you doing? I was checking your channel the other night. Doing good. Great stream. Thank you very much. Mr. Real Estate, can't wait to see you streaming. Salute to Wealth Engineering. Salute to the chat as well. Don't worry, I'm still here. Them eyes, don't worry. I think them eyes might have an appearance tonight. We'll see what we can do. Thank you again, Gail, for your support, and thank you for moderating. Can't wait. I hope that you manage your personal finance this year so that you can at least have enough investments to start your moderating agency business, right? I gotta do whatever I can to encourage you in my own way in doing that. Shout out to you, Mr. Peter Investor M. Shout out to you. I'm going to announce at some point a project that I'm working on for whenever I reach 10K subs. I don't know if that's going to happen this year, but just in case it happens, I'm ready. I'm working on the side projects, and everyone who's doing super chats like that, I think you might appreciate what I'm doing. But thank you very much for your super sticker, $5 super sticker, and also a question. Um, what's what I guess what are your thoughts on saving on big tickets item like housing, transportation versus smaller item like cup and coffee? Um, hmm. For me, because I'm a aggressive type of guy, you know. I'm aggressive, and this is a question that will really depend on the person, right? On the type of person you are. So everyone have a different answer to this question. For me, my strategy is aggressive saving everywhere. So yes, housing, transportation, and smaller cup of coffee, which means no cup of coffee. That's the way I see it. All of them are a priority, especially the big ones. Why? Because there are more money in your pockets, right? The more money that are leaving away your portfolio, it's more money that is going to someone else and not your own portfolio. You got to pay yourself first. And how do you pay yourself is by taking your monthly income and moving that to your saving account or your investing account. That's how you pay yourself, right? So, more money that is leaving your account, more money the worse it is, right? So housing, if you're living in an area that is expensive, move. That's the way I see it. Move. Like Toronto, for example, one of the ways that we decided to move to Montreal is because the rents are cheaper. The rents are much cheaper than Toronto. We moved there. But to be honest with you, we have family there too, so it kind of makes sense already. So it's not just that, but the transportation in Montreal is also easier, right? There is subway. We use the subway network. I purposely live right next to a subway network, so it's easy for me to jump on a line and don't have to drive in some places, right? Save on gas. To be honest with you, since CV19, I barely spent $25 a month on gas. So th- thank you. CV19 guys really helped me a lot with my saving projects, my saving plans. A lot. I actually started before. I started aggressively, very aggressive 2019. But man, 2020, I achieved my goals a lot faster because I didn't have to pay for my car. Actually, purposely, I used the government said, hey, you could not pay a bunch of things because of the CV19. So I called the bank. I'm like, yo, can I hold on my car? Fine. Hold on your cars for 6 months. Don't pay anything. It's not going to affect your credit. Great. I hold on my car because I'm not using my car anyway. Why am I paying for a car I'm not using? Hold on the car. Hold on. Put all that money back into my savings and my cryptocurrencies. I was buying Link, right? Chain Link. That's the exact crypto I was buying with the car payment. And that cryptocurrencies did a 10x in the bear market. In the bear market, that cryptocurrency 10x. That's what I'm telling you guys, man. Cryptocurrency, guys, is the way it's at. It's the way it's at, guys. So again, for those who are new here, I recommend you guys you put 3 to 6 months in your emergency fund, but at the same time, guys, try to find ways to make that money work for you. All right. Hey, how are you doing, Major Change Group? We're just talking about budget planning, and I don't know if you want to do like let me know in the chat if that interests you. But if you want to do like a product review of your budget planner, maybe that can help. I'm going to share soon one of the templates I use, which is basically my own template. But shout out to you. Let me know when you have a moment to talk. I have a moment for you. I have a moment after the stream. I have a moment tomorrow. So it's up to you, girl. You tell me when you're free. So you tell after the stream I'm free. How about that? Right. So let's do that. And thank you. Thank you for this. All right, guys. Let's go back on the content and see what's up. So now here is a controversial point I have. Now, not many people, um, the traditional advice people would give you about your personal finance is to get rid of your debt, right? Now, this is exactly a topic I want to debate with the intentional millionaire because I know I know where he's leaning in that conversation. Get rid of your debt. In my opinion, I'm not saying you shouldn't get rid of your debt. What I am saying is prioritize paying yourself first. That's what I'm saying. Because right now, I still have debt, guys. And at any point, I could sell a portion of my portfolio and pay my debt cash. But why am I not doing that? Because the timing is not ideal for it. My investment is better suited for the crypto market right now. I don't think we're done with the bull run. I think there is still another leg to go. So at the top of the bull run, when I sell, though, right, then I'm willing to pay my debt and I can just wipe basically all of them gone. Now, now here's the key. Let's say 2019, 2020, I was serious about paying my debt. It would have took me 3 years of saving $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month for 3 years to pay all my debt. Let me repeat that again. If I was prioritizing paying my debt first, I would have to pay $1,000 per month every month for 36 months for me to pay all my debt. If I did that, I would have missed the opportunity to make $100,000 in my portfolio. And remember, guys, I slacked off on Shiba. Shiba alone was an opportunity to make $500,000. I made a video about that couple months ago, right? I could have made $500,000 on one investment. Instead, I made about 4,500. Not 4,500, 45,000. Right? I made 45,000. I could have made 400,000. Actually, 500,000 when I went back into it. That's what I could have made. One investment of barely $5,000 could have turned into $500,000. If I did focusing on paying my debt, 3 years, my debt is gone. I'm happy. But next thing you know, after I pay my debt, something happened. Let's say, I don't wish that on anyone, but let's say I have to travel because, someone died. I have to pay their funeral. I have to take a loan, another $20,000 in debt. Boom. Then I have to pay that. Right? Let's say something happened, right? My car breaks down and I need my car for work and I have to find another way to pay it, right? Prioritizing my debt, I'm paying someone else. My money is leaving my account to make someone else rich. And I would have missed the ideal timing to buy cryptocurrencies, which was when? 2019, 2020. Can you imagine if you're buying just Bitcoin? You didn't know anything about cryptocurrencies. You buy Bitcoin in 2019, 2020. How much you would have now, right? At some point, Bitcoin went down to like $3,000. One Bitcoin, $3,000. Earlier this year, last year, Bitcoin got up to like almost 70,000, basically 65, above $65,000 for Bitcoin, from 3,000 to 65,000. That happened in basically a year, right? If I was prioritizing paying my debt, I would have missed that opportunity. And then remember, guys, I told you, even right now with the market dipping, my portfolio is I'm not a six-figure network anymore because my portfolio took a beating. Then market's going down. Stock market, crypto market, everything's going down. Yet I can still sell a portion of my portfolio and pay all of my debt. I'm not doing it. I'm not prioritizing on paying my debt right now. It's part of my living expenses, and it's still about less than 50% of my monthly income. And what can I do with that? I can put the other 50% either on my portfolio or on business, which is exactly what I'm doing. That investment I used to apply to my cryptocurrencies, I'm actually funding my business with that. And I'm actually looking into hiring a team. How am I going to pay for that team? It's that other 50%. Remember that 50% that I was struggling. I was paying. I was buying bread and peanut butter so that I could put all that 50% into my saving account. Well, now that 50% is not going to a saving or crypto account, it's going to my business account and building my portfolio there so that I can pay a team that's going to help me scale my business. Money always working. I still have debt, yet I have a positive network. I have a positive net worth. And at some point this year, I had a six-figure net worth. I mean, at some point, 2021. I still have that though, right? So most people will tell you build the emergency fund. Granted, they will tell you yes, you need to have your needs at least 50% on your monthly income, 25% for your wants, 25% for your saving accounts. I say go 50% if you can. That's a little bit aggressive, but anywhere between 25 and 50, I'm good with you. Just don't go lower than 25, right? Maybe if you really can't, right? If you're older, also you have a family, maybe you could go down to 20%, where so you do 30% in your wants, 20% in your savings, and then 50% in your needs. I'm good with you, right? Only on certain occasion I would agree with that. But then the conventional advice is you got to pay off your debt first. Prioritize paying your debt. And the reason why they're saying that is actually a very good point, because if you pay off your debt quickly, then the money that you would invest, you would have to spend per month on allocating it to your debt. Once the debt is gone, then you could allocate that to your savings, your investing, and your net worth is automatically high because you have low liabilities. You have increasing amount of assets, so your net worth is actually increasing. Granted, but what am I? I am a wealth engineer. What is an engineer? An engineer is someone who finds the most efficient way to design a system and get the desired result. So a wealth engineer is someone who will find the most efficient way to get wealth. Simple. And the most efficient way is not to prioritize paying your debt first. The most efficient way is to build your portfolio in a market that is just about to blow up. Just about to blow up. You go aggressive on that market and then you ride the wave. And when it blows up, sell at the top. That that is the most efficient way. And guess what? For those who are listening, if you sell it at the top and then you go put on a different market and then you buy it when it's about to blow up again. Anyway, I'm not going to dive deeper into that, but in my course, Technical Investor course, guys, I go deep on this strategy. I explain that very well in many different layers. Anyone who take my course right now, they understand exactly what I'm talking about. So if you have been investing in 3 years or less, definitely recommend you to check out my Technical Investor course and go back to the fundamentals, because trust me, there is a lot to learn from the fundamentals. All right. So that is the third point I wanted to bring about personal finance tonight. Again, one, to recap very quickly: one, your goals, build your emergency fund at least 3 to 6 months, depending on your personality. Budgeting and tracking your expenses. Make use of a budget planner. Shout out to Tasha from Major Group. If she wants to, she can come and I can bring her up. Oh, she I can see. I'm not sure how much longer you'll be streaming. Well, hey, I have a couple. We have a couple. We can be up there for a couple minutes. Still have a couple things to share, but let me know whenever you're ready. If I'm still here, we'll do it. And what else? And yeah, so that's number two. Then number three is, don't necessarily prioritize your paying your debt. Just pay the bare minimum of that debt. If your monthly payment for your debt is $101, do not pay 102. Pay 101, and all that money allocate it back in your portfolio. Pay yourself. Pay yourself first. Okay. Um. Let's see. And yeah, that's the third point. And let me go in the chat very quick. How are you guys doing? Are you guys still good? Are you guys taking value? Is there any value that you take from this video? Are these things that you knew about, or did you learn something new, or was that a different perspective that you didn't consider? Let me know in the chat. I'm very curious about your feedback as I get ready to share with you something that I wanted to share. I'll be looking into the chat as well. So give me a second, guys. Just getting ready for you. So let me know in the chat, what do you think of so far? What do you think of so far? Have you heard anything that you didn't hear before? Different perspective. R&B says 500K. Yes, man. I made a video how I lost 500K. It's because it took me 3 weeks to decide whether I should invest on Shiba. That 3 week cost me $500,000. Instead, I made about 45,000 on Shiba this year. I could have made 500,000. Lesson I'll never forget, man. 3 weeks to do my research to decide if I should invest in it or not. Yeah, man. Painful. But hey, go check out my video on it. I really explain it in detail. Peter Investor, how are you doing, man? Are you saying that paying yourself, saving cash reserve retirement first, it forces to leave on net amount left over? I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. Let me read it again. Are you saying that by paying yourself, yeah, saving cash reserve and retirement first, I guess it forces me to leave on the net amount left over. Well, yeah, it exactly. And not only that, is because not only I pay myself first, right? I remove that off my banking account, my debit card, right? I remove that on my checking account. So the only money that is left is basically my living expenses, now my grocery money, my gas money, my paying my cell phone money, rent money, and all that. That's the money that is left. Then I try to pay in advance everything I can, very fast, and then the rest is just there. So when I say Friday night, I don't have like $45 in my account is because everything else is gone, right? Everything else is gone, and my budget is like to a T. I don't keep any leeway because I put most of it in my crypto account. So that's why I get to a point where, man, even though my portfolio is growing, I get to a point where I have to go buy that bread, man. That bread with peanut butter, and tell my wife I love her, man. Whatever it takes to save money. But yeah, that's what it means. All right. Please hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. All right, guys. So another key point I wanted to mention is, well, when you do your budgeting, one thing that helped me is I move all my bills in 1 week. Actually, I choose one day, but for my cell phone, it's not easy to choose one day. So I for things like that, for rent, for example, it's not easy. So for things like that, I move it in the first week. So every bill that I have are either on the 8th of the month, or they are in this between the 5th, 4th or 12th. Between the 4th and 12th, that's where I cover all my bill. So every other week and every day, I don't have to worry about my bill anymore, because at the first week of the month, all my bills are paid, and I focus everything else on paying myself, building my portfolio. You see what I'm saying? Everything else is focusing on that. So if I have that money, I don't have to worry about, the cell phone is going to today. No, all that money I can take it and pull it into my saving or investing account. So yeah, that's a trick I did, and that was really helpful, because I started this again. I didn't do any research on budgeting. I started by doing, my bills were all over the place, and it was very hard to stay focused and still have money around. I'm like, man, after 2 months, I'm like, hell no, man. I moved all my bills into the first week, and after that, it was just easier, a lot easier. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about, guys, is something that my mentor taught me. My mentor taught me this, and it's something that I don't see people talk about when it comes to personal finance. But I believe if you combine that with your personal finance, it's like, it's perfect. Now, you're going to see a lot of material. You're going to read a lot of book online. They're going to tell you exactly what I mentioned: budgeting, managing your expenses. Your living expenses should be around 50. Your needs, your wants, but not. I haven't seen anywhere. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you find it, share it with me on our Discord. You can join on the Discord if you want. Nowhere I have heard anyone talk about personal finance combining that with financial statement. Nowhere. Nowhere have I heard that. Now, what is a financial statement? So, according to Investopedia, let me hmm, let me put that up. Okay, what are financial statements? So let's read that over. Financial statements are written records that convey the business activities and the financial performance of a company. Now, judging from this first line alone, you would say, well, I guess, JC, this is for a company, so it's not necessarily for a person. Maybe that's why people don't really associate this financial statement with personal finance. And if that's the case, if that's the argument you're making, I agree. I agree. But remember, guys, remember, I am a wealth engineer. What does a wealth engineer do? You find the most efficient way to achieve the goal, right? So if you're going to find the most efficient way, perfect, perfect. All right, let me go through my financial statement, and then we're going to actually the timing could be is perfect. All right, give me a second. Yeah, major change the group. I saw your comment. I'll drop the link soon. Give me a second. All right, guys. Yes, that's why I combine financial statement with my personal finance. Again, what is a financial statement? A written records that convey the business activities and the financial performance of a company. It's a company. Financial statements are often audited by governments, agency, accountant firms, etc., to ensure accuracy for tax, financing, or investing purpose, etc. Now, you could say financial statement includes balance sheets, income statements, cash flow statements, etc. Now, guess what, guys? Guess what? Let me look at you in the eyes as I lay it down on you. Here's the main takeaway. I want you to treat yourself as a business, not as a human being, as a business. You are a human being. Of course you are. Everyone is. But you, if you want to be financially independent, you're no longer a person. You are an entity. You are a business. Shout out to Jay-Z. I am not a businessman. I am a business man. So that's what he means. And if you are a business, right, according to the definition here, if you are a business, you're going to need a financial statement, right? Let me put it back up and make sure I can see you in the eyes as I lay it down on you. Guys, I learned that from my mentor directly, and this is powerful. You combine that with your personal finance, and you are setting yourself not just in the 10% of the population, in the 3% of the population. You go in the bank with a financial statement and you show that you're willing, that you're taking measurements, you have written records of everything you do, your expenses, your income, your cash flow, and you're asking for $50,000, $100,000, man, and your credit is good, you're another level. You are at another level. The bank will be more willing to take a risk on you because they see you as a business, a profitable business. Shout out to Gail. Sorry, I pick you on for this example. I'm not a businessman. I am a business man. In your case, Gail, it would be a woman. Well, you get the point. Shout out to Gail. Gail offers a service. Service is she's moderating YouTube channels for free as of now, but she's moderating YouTube channels by providing comments like this. Now you see the timing, guys. I mentioned Discord. Join me on Discord. Boom. The comment was there. I cannot program a night bot to read my lips. Maybe not yet, but at least as of now, I can't do that, right? I need someone to understand the flow, right? To understand the flow of the conversation, to understand how to interact with the community, to throw up those eyeball comments that everyone who's listening understand, because I'm still looking at you. I'm still looking at you in the eyes as I'm laying it down on you, because I don't always do that. Sometimes I got to look at the screen. Sometimes I have to look at this screen. I got to look at the comment. I cannot always look at you in the eye. But sometimes things are very important, guys. So they need eye to eye connection. And I'm here to build that connection with you guys. But I need someone who have their eyes on the chat too. And Gail is here to provide that service. So Gail is a human being, just like you, a person. She could focus on personal finance, understanding her expenses, her electricity bill to operate that computer, right? Food to stay in front of computer. Maybe she might need an iced tea, right? Iced coffee, sure. Or she could be a business. She could see herself as a business, where that now that iced coffee becomes business expenses. Why? I need that iced coffee to stay sharp. That electricity bill becomes an expenses. Why? I need that electricity to run my business. You see where I'm going with this? The computer becomes a business expenses. Why? I need the computer or that big 50-inch screen that's going to allow me to monitor many YouTube channels at the same time as a business. And at this point, you have a full agency running as a business. You can even register LLC. That is way beyond what most people need to do, right? For you, you don't necessarily have to go that deep. Your service is your job. Do you work at McDonald's? Do you work at Walmart? Do you work as an engineer? Do you work what in an office? How much are you making a year? What is a business? A business is an entity where that hires people to provide a service or a product to meet the demand. Why is there a demand? There is a demand because there is a need. There is a want. There's needs and wants. There's people that have problems, they need solution. So if they're hiring you in your job, although you have the title of an employee, technically you're not a business. You have the title of an employee, but you're providing a service or a product, right? Your service of your time and efforts and skills for income. You're exchanging your skills and time for income. Now, that income, if you see it as a business, therefore, financial statement makes sense, right? What is in a financial statement? A balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement. What is my favorite type of investing? Cash flow value investing. Now, in income statement, first, what do you need? Income. And once you have the income, you make a statement. Right? So if you have a job, do you have an income? Is it minimum wage? It's still an income, isn't it? All right. We're going somewhere. We're going somewhere. Now let me share with you guys my income statement. No, it's not my income statement, but it's a template, right? It's a template that I made. You can make your own, but definitely um definitely yeah, give me a second. You can make your own, but yes, you're going to understand the key component of of a financial statement, and from there go at it, right? But my whole point of this stream is it's it's that nugget that no one talks about online. And trust me, I had to pay my mentor for him to teach that. And I didn't pay cheap, guys. I did not pay cheap. It was $10,000 that I paid, and it was my real estate mentor who taught me that. But what he taught me could apply on anything, on any level, regardless if you have a minimum paying job or not. All right. So let me share with you. Let me share with you my template. All right, give me a second. And don't worry, I see your comment. A major change group, Tasha. I'll bring you along. I just want to go very quickly through that. All right. Now I break this in like I said in my technical investor course, guys. I have an entire module specifically on personal finance, and I talk a lot about my financial statement. I literally have a video that says you can retire in 10 years of less with a McDonald's job. And part of that is understanding how to perfect your personal finance. And a lot of that has to do with mastering your financial statement and allocating and be disciplined with your investment. Now, very quickly, I'm going to go quickly on this video. Let me see. Yeah. So this is my template that I made for me myself. You can put your picture here, your name, the When the last time the document was updated, your home address, your business address. And again, think of it as you're going to send all that to a bank, and then the bank, you're going to a bank, physical bank, and the bank is going to read this document, and they're going to evaluate you as a potential asset, a potential guy to give $100,000 right loan. So all of a sudden, the bank say, "Hey, how much asset do you have with me? You have maybe $2,000 worth of assets in the bank." Not true. You open your financial statement and it says you have X amount of assets in different places. Perfect. Now, what is an asset? Remember, shout out to the intentional millionaire. We talked about what is an asset. It is anything that puts money in your pocket. Anything that puts money in your pocket, or shout out to the intentional millionaire in mentioning that, is anything that appreciates over time. All right. So what I do in my assets column or sheet, basically, the first sheet is kind of like a dashboard to give you a summary about everything. You can put the credit score. If your credit score is low, you're gonna put it there. By the way, all these numbers are random, right? I just type it there. But yeah, you can. It's just a good way to see. Actually, mine is slightly different. I have a graph to show my assets, liability, and net worth. So for me, I update that to a graph. But again, I'm just trying to show you my my setting here. I know many of you are using your phone, so I'm going to zoom that a little bit. Okay, so assets column, your assets column. What I do is you can put your bank account. If you're willing to take the risk, you can put your account number. Now, I'll tell you this much. Since I started doing that, putting my account number into my a sheet like that where I can easy access, man, so much better. Because I get a job, someone asked me, "Yo, what's the money, what's the account number you want me to send that money, your paycheck?" I just tell them straight up, "Hey, send it to here, send it to here," etc. Right? I don't have to like go get a blank check to the bank to figure out what's my code are. It's all written here. Boom, right? So every month you can go at it and then you can update this account. I'm actually I was one startup idea I have, guys, is I want to design an app that allows you to do all that. The money comes into your bank, virtual bank, and then you allocate exactly where it needs to go. You program where you want it to go, and then the money goes, and then it just goes straight to your bank to either paying your bill, your saving account, your crypto account, your stock account. I had this idea for almost 2 years now, but I have to slow down and start up ideas because I got beaten, man. I got hit. I got hit hard last time I tried to do a startup, which is why my credit score is only at 650 right now. But hey, that's what I did. So personal account, you have a segment here. Then you can see I have a segment for my in Canada. There is TFSA and RRSP. These are retirement plan saving and tax-free saving accounts. I put which institution they are from. Some of them are from my brokers. Some of them are from my bank. I mean, again, this is not accurate at all. I'm just sharing you that as a template to understand what I'm doing, and maybe you can take inspiration from it or not. Is it the only way to do it? No, absolutely not. But hey, this is the way that works for me. So I'm just sharing that. And then yes, you can put your crypto account. If you have Binance, right now I have a KuCoin, so technically I should have. If you have different wallets, you can put that and the amount of money you have there. So these are your assets, right? So these are the money that are in your pockets. Liability is the opposite of assets. So it's basically everything you own that's taking money away from your pocket. So let's say you bought a house that was a rental property that was paying you that was 300,000, right? So on your assets, you could actually have maybe $10,000, or we could be $30,000 as your down payment. Do it that way, right? Could have $30,000 as a down payment. So now that becomes part of your equity in the house. But maybe you still have a balance of 270, right? So now the 270 becomes the liability. You're liable for that amount because you haven't paid it yet. You have your mortgage, right? You haven't paid it yet, and then you paid with your down payment 30,000. Perfect, right? Overall, it's $3,000, 300,000. Now look at this. What it does to your net worth. Your net worth is negative, and it's negative 250 because why? Most of that liability comes from the property you own, right? Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Not, not. It could be a great thing. Immediately, it's going to alert the bank that hey, you have a lot of liability. But what can help you is depending on if is it income producing property or is it a house that is not necessarily generating income, right? So this is the what the bank is going to do. The bank is going to evaluate all that. But if you had zero house, like me, for example, right? Look at that. You had zero house and you go back on your net worth is automatically positive. And these are the things I evaluate. And that's why I'm not necessarily focusing on buying a house right now. And when I do, it's going to be shout out to Lashes. She was mentioning that in The Intentional Millionaire, something like a fourplex. You rent the three properties and you live in one of them. It could be something like that I do first, but and slowly graduate to bigger deals, buy, rent, hold, or buy, rent, modify, and sell, whatever you do. But things like this, right? That's what I'm thinking about in my process. But in your case, maybe this is applicable, or maybe your house is way more than that, right? Then your liabilities are way more. Then maybe you have a car. A car could be worth, you maybe have a balance of 17,000 on it. Fine. I literally have a Mazda. This is exact snapshot from my own from my own thing. But that was like in 2020 when I had this amount. So now it's much less than 17,000 because every month I pay it, so the balance keep reducing. And what does that do here? The assets for a car doesn't necessarily appreciate. So right now, if I would sell my car, I would say maybe a fair price could be $5,000. So the asset of the car is the amount I would sell it for, which is 5,000. But the liability is the amount that I owe the bank. So technically, this is a bad investment, right? Because I owe a lot more than I can sell it for. Then you put line credits if you have debts or if you have like a loan, credit cards, debt. You put the balance. So this one is $1,000 credit card at a 18% interest. I like to put the interest rate right next to the investments, the loan. This one is a line of credit, so you can see it all into a snapshot, right? Account payable. I put that in my liability column, but account payable is basically everything that I have to pay in. So I copied this number from my expenses column, and my expenses column, when you add everything together, it adds up to 2,223 per month. That's what I own. That's my living expenses for myself. I mean, for if that was accurate, that would have been. And then liability, and so it shows up in my liability as well, because you still are liable for that. These are still money in your pockets. Now you could time this by 12, and that's going to show you, hey, this is the amount uh, per year, kind of thing, like this. But you could do that if you want, or you could just leave it as per month. That would be a fair calculation if you decided to time this by 12, and then look at it from a yearly perspective, right? And evaluate your assets and your liability on a yearly scope, and then you look at your income and expenses on a monthly scope. All right, income. So that property that you own, we still own it? Do we still own the property? Yes, we still own it for 270,000 that we have. That income property, it's for first, it's your job. Maybe your job is paying you 50,000 um, a year. You have to factor taxes, right? So I like to put all that into my income statement so I can understand my real income, right? It's the we move the taxes. And then you have the rental property. The rental property, let's say you have, I don't know, $1,000, 1,100 per month, times that by 12, whatever. But yeah, yearly income for the property is this, which cash flow after all expenses paid. You have a cash flow on it at $300, which is a good cash flow, to be honest with you, in real estate. Then that could add up to an extra $260,000. Um, sorry, 3,600 dollars as a cash flow, and yeah, that's basically the income from the property, right? So you could factor it however you want. If you have a business, you want to factor in how much income you're making from your business, either per month or per year. Passive income, maybe you want to do affiliate marketing and you made some money there. Stocks and crypto, and windfall. You could put all that together. So it shows you different ways of income. Now, this is a trick I've done. I like to track incomes per year, and then I track also the amount of taxes that was taken from me. And my goal is every year I want to have a lower tax bracket, and I want to see that number of income increase every year. So for example, I want to see, for example, let's say 2021 for me, I would want to see I don't know, 120, I think I'm at. And then I want to see that way lower than 30%. If I don't see it 30% when I do my taxes, then my goal the following year is to increase that number to let's say 200,000, and then reduce that to 25%. That would have been a goal that I would focus on, and work on it on the beginning of the year with my tax strategies. Now, what I do here is I learned that from Dan Locke, of the four types of income you can have. Linear, it's basically you exchange your time for money, right? And it's a linear income because you only have 24 hours in a day. Leverage is you leverage a business, you leverage other people, and that's what I'm currently working on right now. Is building my business so that I can leverage a team to make more income, right? Then you can make income on a passive. For example, I sell my course. I create my course in 2020. I'm still selling it in 2022. So that's passive income. And windfall is basically income from your investments like stocks or crypto. So if you buy a crypto at $1,000, you got to $10,000, then you made basically you made 9,000 in windfall income. And yeah, that's basically windfall. So what I like to do is put all of it together, and every year I look into that and I'm like, man, my linear is way too high. Can I reduce the linear so that I can increase the windfall? Now this year I didn't technically, if I sold my all my portfolio, my windfall would have surpassed my linear. But for tax strategy, I don't want to do that yet. But the goal is for me to have my linear like a quarter of what my windfall is. I want my passive very high, my windfall very high, and then my linear very like a quarter of what my passive is, right? You want to leverage you want leverage passive and windfall way higher than linear. And most people have the linear columns is very high, and they have no leverage, no passive, no windfall. That's basically 90% of the population. If they invest in the stock market through their work, you could say that they're working with the windfall, but the windfall will be very small and their linear will be very large, right? So things like that, I like to leave in my income statement. And I learn things from different people. Like, For my mentor, I put that this is from Dan Locke, a YouTuber, right? But I mix a bunch of things together and I break it down even deeper on my course, guys. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. Now, I'm not going to go deep on that, but not only to say this is, your living expenses per month, bi-weekly income as well. I like to put that to help me factor to make that calculation. And then what I'm trying tracking here, understand which part of my bills are going, which where am my money going, right? What's the most places my money is going? And I like to track this to understand my saving versus expenses. Remember, I was telling you earlier, guys, that my savings, I was able to save at on average 50% for the last for 2 years. Well, it's because I was doing this. I was able to see this, and every month I was like, oh, okay, this month I was like, okay, this month is here, 55%, 50%. I actually changed it on on my template where there is a number here that shows me the percentage. But yeah, all that to say, guys, that's how I do it. And cash flow. Now, this is you know, this is my own innovation into the personal statement. Let's call it personal financial statement. All right, personal financial statement. My innovation. Cash flow for me, well, cash flow, what it means is after all expenses paid, how much money is in your pocket, right? And you could still do that, right? Maybe remember that real estate we had was doing 300 in cash flow. So that could be part of your cash flow sheet. You track that. And then maybe you have remember earlier this year, that was me. I had cryptocurrencies paying me $50 a week, right? So that could have added to, let's say, $200 a month. And therefore, that would be $500 in cash flow per month. And the goal is to get that to 5,000 cash flow per month, right? So that's what I would say. And if you have a business, that could help a lot because after all expenses are paying, then you could do that. But I also have this, and I call it I put it in my cash flow sheet as well. And it's kind of a way to understand where the money is coming, where the money is going, and to have a visual overlay of it. So this is a month. In a month, I have, this is my after taxes and all that. This is the money that I get. Then I would put that in the savings, checking, minimum living expenses. Remember that number here. So that would go here. Then you would go, okay, real estate is also coming here. Like I don't own real estate right now, so that would be zero. But at least I'm giving you an example of what's happening. You have maybe that is your emergency fund. It's not enough if your minimum living expenses is this, so you probably want to increase that to at least this number times three minimum. And then after you put I understand how much money is in stocks, is in crypto, and I can see where it's going, right? I like to have a visual. It helps me understand what's my next move is going to be. Me personally, actually, I need to update mine on my template to add business, so that because now most of my money is going to my business fund instead of my crypto fund. So in a nutshell, that is basically the financial statement sheet and how I mix that in personal finance. Right now, a large part of that is budgeting, guys. Now, me, I did a bad job really budgeting. I'm not really tracking all my expenses. I just listed what how much I have to pay, something like that. But if you want, maybe you can either add an extra sheet to help you with your budgeting, or in your expenses, you could that as well. And I think that's where I wanted to encourage Tasha, because Tasha, she's really passionate about that. So I'm going to share the link. I don't know if she's still here. Let me know if you're still here. Oh, I see you guys still watching. That's good. 10 people still watching. Thank you very much. So this link is only for Tasha come here. Please come up if possible, at least for verification. Later, you can turn off the camera, but to verify yourself, please come up. So this link is only for Tasha if she's still here. And while we wait, let me go through the chat. I think I missed a lot of chats. Hey, how are you doing? Talk with Tori. How are you doing? Oh, okay, I see her. I'm going to go through that very fast. All right, guys, let me see. Yes, you are a human being. Allegedly, yeah. Yes, you are a human being, but I want you to be a business. I want you to be a business. Now, in your case, your business will be a lot further than what I showed. But even for regular people, you're still a business in a way that you're providing a service to a job and then you're getting an income, right? So from that perspective, you got an income, you're an income producing business. So get yourself a financial statement. And that's the purpose of what I was sharing you. But your financial statement, if you go with the moderating agency, will be a bit more like in your assets and liabilities, you would add more, right? For your business as well. Let me see. Simsia, how are you doing, man? How are you doing? I know you're probably going to enjoy this part of the stream. I'm well. I'm late in this convo. Hope I didn't miss much. I don't think you missed much. You still got it. Let me see. Let me see. User personal JC. Maybe. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Hey, super chat. Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Investor M. I'm actually trying. I'll mention that I'm actually doing a leaderboard for all my super chats, and that's going to play a factor when I do it or when I unveil that 10,000 subscriber project that I'm working on. Which is I don't know why I'm working on it. I'm very far from that, but just in case, you never know. Uh, yes, let me see what else. Comment. Thank you for your comment, Peter Investor M, and your $5 505 super chat. JC is giving some gems. I'm trying to. One way to reduce taxes is to leverage your employees' registered saving plan, which only tax you on the reported income. Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. You can use that TFSC in Canada. You can. This is what we use, but I know the intentional millionaire. He knows a lot about that when it comes to United States. So check him out. Okay, you here? I know you here. Teach us on how to dodge the IRS. I know you got some secrets. Me, man. Nah, I'm just a regular guy, man. I'm just a regular guy. But hopefully, I can invite someone who can talk more about that. Now, let me invite on the panel Miss Tasha from Major Change Group. How are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. I don't know how much you capture from this, but earlier I was talking about the importance of budgeting in your personal
Mhm.
finance, and I know that something that you're really interested in. So I wanted to know if you wanted to chime in on that, or
Of course.
if possible, is could we even get a screenshot or a view of your personal planner? Maybe that could encourage people to see how they can manage that and into their own statement. Uh,
Yes. So first, thank you. Sorry, I just saw your message. I had been out, and so I would have, to be more prepared and all that. But thank you so much for reaching out to me. Of course, I think budgeting is very important. And on my channel, the Major Change Group, that's what we talk about. I talk about budgeting, credit cards, and I know that the credit cards get a lot of views. And I was on Uncle Stu's channel yesterday, and I want to get more views on the budgeting, because y'all, I really be putting my business out there with the with my budget. I really do my live budget every
yeah,
month. And so I know that you had your Excel document. So I would say, if you just have to start with a pen and a piece of paper, that's how I got started with budgeting.
yeah,
Then I transitioned to, I had my own Excel document. And then I moved to, in 2020, I had created the digital planner. And then for 2022, I have another digital planner. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, let's
Let
see.
me turn off my screen, and yeah, you could go ahead and share your screen. So if you have
Okay.
anything you want to share, you can let
Yeah,
us know.
so what
But
I'm
can you
gonna
tell us a little bit
do is
more? Can you tell us a little bit more? Look at this guy. They man, sorry, Mr. Real Estate. This is as I mentioned, only for Natasha for Major Group. But maybe we can connect some other time. Look at this guy, right? Always trying to join in. But let
he has
me
a lot of knowledge too. So
please click the share button on the bottom,
okay,
and
let's
then you will
see.
be able to share your screen, and
Share
I'll
my
put it on the
screen.
I'll put it
Okay, so this is my Etsy shop. And so that's what I will share with you guys.
perfect. All right, let me see. All
Okay,
right,
here we
if you
go.
want, you can zoom it a little bit. I know
Uh-oh. You know, I'm
some.
not really good with all of that. Let's see.
No worries, no worries.
Okay, so this is my so as I was stating, I had created a digital budget planner. But like I said, if you want to start with a pen and or in a piece of paper, you can start there. And even on my channel, I have a free budget and debt repayment template as well. Because you know the main thing is just to get started. But if you are interested, I have my digital budget planner, and so this is linked. And so you have to use a note taking app to be
Mm,
able to use this digital planner. And what I really like about the 2022 version of the digital planner is that I created a goals planner, and then I created like a credit card tracker because you know I love applying for credit cards and I got non-credit cards.
absolutely.
I wanted to, especially since I'm doing the I usually try to do the credit card utilization hack. And so when I'm doing the credit card utilization hack, I like to, I want to keep track of it. So, like right here, this is the calendar, so that I can make sure, now I'm doing a lot of streaming with other YouTubers. So, I want to make sure that I'm organized with my
Mm,
days and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
And then here's a goal planner. So, it's always good, like you did your vision board. So, we can have monthly goals, we can have
Yep.
quarterly goals, we can have 1 year goals, or we can have 5 or 10 year goals. And so this is more so our monthly goals.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a savings planner because last year I did the Major Change Group savings challenge where I had saved. I did a 26-week savings challenge, a 6 month savings challenge where I had saved $5,000, but I really saved $10,000 for the whole year. But for the second half of the year, I really didn't talk about it. So this is I only have one page for the savings planner. You can put how much you're saving per month, and then I have a notes page. That way you can keep track. So that's a monthly notes page. So every month you can go in and put notes in the planner.
Okay.
And yeah, and so but you have to use this in a note taking app. And so that's why, like when we did the giveaway, I gave away a digital planner, but I also gave away a $10 gift card. That way, if people don't
Mm,
have a note taking app like GoodNotes, they can.
okay.
But you can always go over to my channel and take a look at and then actually take a look at the when I'm doing my budget every month
Yeah. Yeah.
because I do my budget every month, so
You can see
you can
basically
up
how
there
you
too.
use the app. Is that correct? Like you show how you use the app on your.
And see what I really want to do. I want to create like a commercial. So I want to create a commercial and
Oh,
then also have a more in depth on how to use it as well.
okay, okay. Okay, I understand, I understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything that can help people saving, especially meet their goals.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I would say if I would combine what I say with your product, my goal would be like, for example, that 3 to 6 month emergency fund,
Right.
and see how I track my. Is there like another place where I can track my expenses too? Like,
Well, no, I don't have it to where you
that
can
you would
track
have to
your
write it down,
expenses.
I guess.
Well, this is more so well on the actual. let me see on the actual, because there, I want to say seven main points. So you have your budget
Hmm.
part, and so on the actual budget part, you can put your income, and then you can put all of your expenses, and then that's how. But if you, I don't know, like on the one that you did, if you want to track every single expense, you can't do that. It's more so, okay, do you have, how many bills do you have for the month. So it has, I
Yeah.
want to say 22 slots for
Okay.
you to put your
Wow.
bill, for you to put your expenses, and then it has four slots for income. So let's say like for myself, even though like on my channel, I'm mostly just giving my primary income, not necessarily my business income, because like with YouTube, I use that money for the business, not for my personal income. And
Absolutely.
so but there are like four slots to where you can put your salary, you can put your side hustle money, and any other money that you have coming in as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, man, anything that can help people with maybe for people that are very organized, if you want to track everything, and that's going to motivate you as well, because what gets measured gets improved. So if you start measuring it, tracking it,
Right.
then you definitely on your way to improvement. And if we're talking about personal finance, this is
Mm-hmm.
the planners like this are tools that you can use, and why not support a lovely Tasha from Major Change Group to,
Thanks. And
to
even
do that
if
as
it's
well.
not, of course, I would love for you guys to purchase it. But I'm telling you, last year I had paid off my auto loan in 1 year, y'all. A $20,000 loan I paid off in 1 year. And I'm telling you, if it was not, now I always budget. I'm a long term budgeter. But if it was not for me really budgeting my money, because that goal was pretty lofty, to pay $20,000 off in a
Yeah,
whole year.
that's tough.
But if I had not done a budget, I don't know that I would have been able to do it, because I really feel like, now I'm not going to say all the time, because I said this on Uncle Stu's channel as well. I feel like we have a lot more money coming in, flowing through our hands, than we really think that we do. So sometimes we think, well, I might need to go get a part time job or something like that. But do we really, do you know how much money that you have coming in?
Mm.
Or because, we be nibbling on that money sometimes, and
Oh,
then you know,
I
and, so
I
it's a tax
agree.
season. Tax season is coming up. If we don't have a plan for that money, if you are getting money back, but especially for us YouTubers, I know a lot of people is buying equipment, people in the Patreon,
Yeah,
you can file taxes for that. You see what I'm saying?
absolutely.
And when you get that money back, are you wasting that money? Are you putting the money back in your business? And so that's why it's a really good habit to go ahead and be budgeting our money, so that when we create the plans for ourselves, we can really actually make sure that we're doing it. And it's just not, once we go back to, like the money comes in, and then, okay, I've been doing all the things that I wanted to do. And then by the time at the end of the month, I'm like, okay, I'm going to pay. Well, I'm going to do this. And I go back and it's like, dang, where the money go? You know what I'm saying? It's not
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely. I agree with you, man. Many things you mentioned, because you're right. You're right. You don't realize it may, because first of all, one thing I didn't realize, how much tax really hurt you. Okay, when you start budgeting, you realize, man, that tax is
Mm,
gone. But once, with the other thing I noticed is when you start budgeting and noticing how much you spend on other things, like those
especially food.
those Uber Eats, they adds up so much.
Right.
They adds up so much. Those restaurants.
Oh my
Sometimes you
God.
those late. If you're driving to a friend and you're buying those beers, those that extra
Mm.
gas that you had to pay, that
Mm.
beer, it could really add up a lot. And when I started budgeting for 2 years to meet my goals, guys, I that's what I learned, man. I learned, man, I was wasting a lot of money. And I'm telling you guys, if you save that money and you invest it, even if it was in stock market, shout out
Mhm.
to my first stock that I did. I did a lot of money in one of my stocks. It's called FCell. I made and I only saved $500. I reinvested that into a penny stocks, and it turned out to be a $22,000. And that $500, it was the direct result of me budgeting. And those
Right.
money that I was budgeting was money that I could have spent on barbecue,
Mm-hmm.
poker,
Uh,
Uber Eats,
right.
right? Later you can catch on my story on how I aggressively save and buy peanut butter, man. I buy
Hmm.
peanut butter and cheap bread for almost
Whoa,
every
you was on that
Friday.
Dave Ramsey. You're on
Oh
that
man,
Dave Ramsey plan. Dang.
I was frugal. But yeah,
Mm,
these numbers they really add up. And when you start tracking your expenses, your
mhm.
budgets, it really helps you figure it out. Now,
It
to be honest with you, this is something I'm starting to do with my super chats. I'm starting to go over budget with my super chats. So I gotta I gotta start my budgeting that. But yeah. But thank you for showing our your budget planner.
Of
And
course, of course. Yes, I really appreciate you for reaching out to me. Definitely sorry that I didn't reach out earlier, but still that I was able to jump on and that I was ready. And so thank you so
do you
much.
have a link to maybe that website or your
Let
website
me
or
see.
something?
Hold on. Let me
I can maybe share that on the
okay,
page.
hold on. Let me see if I can get it for you really quick.
And no worries. And as you're doing that, I'm going to go very quick on the chat. Shout out to you, Wally. How are you doing? Let me see if I miss a couple chats. Gail at night, get your wealth into merch. Thank you very much, Gail. Best moderator online. Um,
Yes, she is. Shout out to shout out to Gail.
Absolutely, absolutely. Tasha, do you have a tax dodge technique? This guy, cash flow hunter, that's the only word in his vocabulary. Tax, and reducing tax as much as possible. I hope you become my neighbor in the Cayman Island, man. Cash flow,
Ooh,
that's how you.
yes. I
Yeah,
love the Cayman Islands now.
I bought some lens there, and then I started paying it now. But it turns out they still have lens in my area, and someone in my group was asking about that. So I don't know. Maybe we could have a small wealth engineering community on this land here and the Caymans. So shout out to you, and if you're interested, bro, let's join in on that. Man, it's like a 10K square feet for like $65,000. So
Mm,
and they accept monthly payments, so 0% interest rate. Go at it, man.
wow.
Oh
I
yeah,
put the link in the chat.
perfect, perfect. Let me go to. So guys, if you wanna go check out um if you want to go check out our planner, go on this website right here and go check her out. We maybe read more about it. She made a really good, beautiful presentation about it. But let me go through the chat very quick. Um, no worries. Hey, is there a StreamYard link, Mister? Click it. No worries, man. No worries,
Oh,
Mister Real Estate. We'll connect at some other time.
oh, this is a
Um,
great question.
I have a question for on credit card utilization for her. If I max out my credit card and I pay it off before bill is due, does that count towards utilization, or do only count on you don't pay it off? So what do you
Yes,
think
it
about that?
actually, this is a great question. And I have a video coming out tomorrow about our credit score. And so, what he's asking is if he maxes out a credit card and he pays it off before the due date, but if he pays it off before the due date, his utilization is actually going to be zero because most of the what you really want to find out on your actual let's say credit card statement is the due date and the statement date, and the statement date is the most important because the statement date is when they report to the creditor. So it's really what is the statement date reflecting, and then that's what the percentage, so then you can figure out what your utilization is from there, and hopefully it's under 10% because with our credit utilization, if you want to increase your credit score fast, tackle your credit utilization. If you have a maxed out credit card, if you can get it 30% or lower, then you can increase your credit score fast.
Mm. Dropping gems, man. This podcast is full of gems, guys. Full of gems. And if you are starting your financial journey and you want to do it on the right path, make sure you have everything on the right direction. Man, this is perfect. You got your financial statement, personal finance tips. You got your planner, right? Your budgeting planner to help you reach your financial goals. But shout out to you. I dropped the link in the chat, guys. Here's the link as well. Etsy.com shop at a major change group. So make sure you check it out if you're interested. If you're watching it on replay, drop a comment if you took any value of that. And yes, guys, make sure you check it out and get to your budget, guys. Work on it. Don't make every single dollars needs to work to help you reach your financial independence.
It
So
does.
put
It
them
all counts.
soldiers to work.
Right. Because, you know, $27 a day, about $28 a day. If you save that a day, you can have $10,000 by the end of the year.
If you save $27 a day, you have $10,000 at
I
the end of the
believe
year.
so. Yes.
Yeesh.
Yeah. So just imagine, you know, like we go out to eat,
Yep.
you know.
That could be
Yeah.
like I think what Starbucks is half of that already.
Oh my Lord, do not get me started on no Starbucks.
Sheesh.
Mm, mm, mm.
Mm, You're dropping knowledge, man. That's true. That's true, man. Let me see. Let me see the chat. Wally, so the statement date do not due date. Really?
Right. The statement date and the due date are two different things. So the statement date is when, you know, they'll calculate. So let's say if you have a balance on your credit card and then they'll calculate and they'll say the due date, you owe $20, you know, or $25 or whatever. And then that's when your due date is. But your statement date is when the creditor actually reports to the credit bureau. So if you want to check this out, don't take it from me. If you want to check this out, because you can pull your credit report weekly
Mhm.
until April of 2023. So you can pull your credit report. So let's say on one of your credit cards, you leave $500 on that. And if you oh my gosh, I wish I could pull up. I want to see if I can pull up a scenario of this. But
Okay.
so let's say your due date is 2/5, but then maybe your statement date might be 2/10. So let's say you don't pay all of the balance off and you have $500 on the credit card. You paid 20, but you still have a $5 balance. Whatever that balance is at the statement date, that's what they're going to report to the credit card, to the credit bureau. And then you should be able to go on to your if you pull your credit report, you'll be able to see what's actually reporting on there. Because see, I know for myself, especially some of my credit cards, I'm able to kind of pull my credit report there and it'll tell me what's reported. So I don't even, you know, you don't necessarily have to take it from me. You can verify everything to see if this works. But you can always go on my channel and I did a video about this, the credit card utilization hack, because what I was doing really quickly, what I was doing, I was paying my credit card off every month. So I have 9 credit cards and I pay the credit card off every month. So I was wanting to increase my credit score. But what I started doing, I did the credit card utilization hack where I was leaving 2% or 7% on the credit card. So I looked at my credit card statement to see what was the due date, what was the statement date. So, and then whatever your credit limit is, figure out what the 2% is. So, if I have a $7,000 credit limit, I believe it might be 265. I think that's 2%, 265. So, if the statement date is 1/9 or 2/9, then maybe around 2/12 or 2/13, I'll pay the credit card. But see, even though I've paid that amount, and then if I go ahead and pay the credit card off, like on 2/13, I'm not paying interest on the credit card. So really, when you're doing this, it's all about timing. So you
Mm,
really have to know what the due date, what the statement date is, and that's how you can kind of play around with it a little bit.
mm.
But go on my channel, and I have I have a couple of videos because one of them was called "It's About Timing." That's what it has on the thumbnail, and then I have another one, the credit card utilization hack, because what was going on, I had almost got denied for this credit card because I wasn't using a few of my other credit cards, and so they said I had low usage. Well, they were saying I had low usage because I was paying the credit card off every month. So when it reported to the credit bureau, it was reporting zero utilization. So then that's when I started leaving 2% or 7%. But you just want to leave under 30 or under 10% on there. But then you can always check your credit report to see what your credit card company is reporting to the credit bureau. So you
Yeah.
can validate everything that I'm saying.
Absolutely. And very quickly, I wanted to go to this comment. I found it interesting. And
Mhm.
if you have any comments you want to chime in, just be brief. Mr. Real Estate, thank you. Followed the James Ramsey plans. So now at 27, I just now have credit card. I've been maxing them off and paying them off, and my credit report
Yeah.
has not gone
Mhm.
down,
Yeah,
showing
yeah.
0% utilization. I was
Right,
confused.
exactly. Because see, the thing is, he's paying it off at the due date
Hmm.
before it reports to the credit bureau. So that's what I'm saying. It's all about timing. So he really wants to see what his statement date is. And I'm not gonna say you don't want to leave it. It depends on how much credit limit you have. So let's say you 10%, but I would say 10% or lower. But let's say if you want to do 30%, but I would say 10% or lower because you don't want to be maxing out your credit cards and stuff. So 10% or lower. Leave 10% on the credit card or 2% on the credit card, and then let it report to the credit bureau, but pay it off right after. Because I want to say you got about 5 weeks or so. You still have a couple of days or even a week after the statement date. I think you got a little bit longer, but I'm scared to try it because I don't want to pay interest on the credit card. So,
No worries.
you do this at your own you
Yeah.
do this at your own,
Risk at your own
right,
risk.
at your own risk. But
No
yeah,
worries.
that's what's going on with him. He's paying it off at the due date, but if he checks his credit card statement and then finds the statement date, he will be able to start reporting, because what he's saying is, since he doesn't have any credit cards more than, I don't know if he has anything else, possibly he has a low, because he doesn't have a whole lot of credit per se, and so I'm not for sure where his credit score is, but that could help him to build the credit possibly.
Awesome, awesome. Let me go through very quickly the chat. Um, I grab a calculator as soon as she said that. She's correct. $27 a day. It's 900. I'm sorry, 9,855 at the end of the year. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I
But
was saying. Maybe $28, $28
but
a
but
day.
here's the interesting thing. Look what $1 a day does. That is the thank you, Mr. Peter Investor M. Peter Investor
Mhm.
M right now was actually the who is actually the current sponsor of the stream because he's about 5 cents more than Mr. Big Bad Bull. But he still managed to grab that. But shout out to you, Mr. Sponsor of the stream, because this is a very important stream. Needs to be needs to be out there. But thank you for sharing that. He went one day less, $1 more, right? I don't know if you caught that. One
Yeah.
day less, $1 more, and look at the difference, guys.
Hmm.
Right? Versus this number, 9,855, right? So it very interesting.
Yeah.
Almost like we could say almost for 350, $400 difference. Just $1 and $1 day, one day, right? So very interesting, guys. These dollars adds up. These dollars adds up without you, like I'm telling you guys, they adds up. And when you start investing them too, they add up. They add up very high. Trust me, I'm the living proof of that. Please hit the like button as you come in. And thank you, Gail, at night. I'm about to close the stream, but hey, Gail, hey, this is my IG, Gail, JC the Black Guy. You can slide in my DM, or you can check me on my email, jc at wealthengineering.ca. That's my email. After the stream, I will be available. So if anyone wants to chime in, definitely you, Gail, I'm free. We can do a virtual meeting, and I can talk to you. All right, I can send you a
Can,
Google link or
can I
something.
share my screen again?
Oh, you have on something else before
Yes, I
you go?
wanna I hope that
Wait,
let
before
me
you go,
show you.
you can share the screen. I'll put it later. Look at this. Before the billions is going with the
Oh,
19.99. I'm the sponsor. Thank you very much. Before the billion, thank you very much, man. These guys are going for places. Eh? Well, eventually, like we're using TLA's rule, the high spend paying chat is the sponsor of the stream, and this is a great stream, man. Before the billion, personal finance. It's a great stream to be sponsoring because lots of gems dropped today. Lots of gems. Maybe as you search your thing, you can answer that very quickly. Question: Cash flow hunter. If I don't use the credit but make regular deposits on it, does the credit score increase? For don't use
hmm.
the credit, not.
Well, but if you don't use the credit and you have a 0% utilization, I mean, I will say that I would think that you would still have a okay credit score, but I'm saying like when I was reporting a zero utilization, and then once I started reporting like a 2%, I did increase my credit score. But you still want to, because even though I'm saying leave a balance on the credit card, I'm not saying to pay interest on the credit card.
All right. You guys are having fun in the chat. All right, guys. So I'm going to close the stream. Is there any last words you have, Tasha? And let me
Mm-hmm.
put that link again. You can go subscribe to her channel, guys. But definitely for the as we were talking about personal finance, budgeting, and all, make sure you check out as well our link if you want, if you are interested in a budget planner. But is there any last words you would like to say before we close?
Yes, I really want to share my
Oh,
screen.
my bad. Yes, you did say
Let me
that.
see. But like when you're trying to do something, because I need to okay, let me see.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It
there
says
we go.
it
Okay.
doesn't increase if you don't use it. Shout out to Before the Billions. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking the same thing too when they asked that question. Cash flow hunter. Let me see. Awesome. I don't. Awesome with the flex.
But I would rather you have no credit card debt than reporting a lot.
Mm,
You
that's
know.
true.
So,
Yeah, reporting could add up, man. It could these
right.
things adds
Okay.
up.
So let me see if I can make this bigger.
You can press control and then you scroll with the mouse.
Yes. Let me hold on. I'm struggle streaming, y'all.
Yeah, no worries.
Let me see.
Let's see. I think another comment from Before the Billion. Credit companies will close the account if you
Oh
don't
yes,
use it.
because that happened to me too, y'all. Because I so especially around this time, because like around this time, we don't want they don't know what people are gonna do with their credit cards, right? So they don't want you to have a lot of credit out there, and then you're gonna be they don't want you to have a lot of credit out there because with credit cards you can always discharge that in bankruptcy.
Yeah,
So I'm not gonna be able to. I don't know how I'm not gonna be able to share it. So that's no
no
problem.
worries,
But
no worries.
you can
But wait,
always
let me finish reading that comment because yeah, he's the current sponsor, so I gotta finish reading all his comments. I'm joking. Credit companies will close the account if you don't use it because they can only lend out a certain amount of credits. And he has another comment. They don't want to keep open inactive accounts. after a few years, they don't even have to let you know if they close it. Wow.
No, they don't,
Mm.
because that's what I'm saying. I had a Bank of America. Can you hear me
Yep,
still?
I can hear you
Okay,
very
sorry.
well.
I had a Bank of America. I had two Bank of America credit cards that I had for probably 15 or 16 years. And around, especially after the, 2020, all that had happened, and it had a zero balance on it and all that kind of stuff. And then and I hadn't used it because I use all my credit cards a little bit differently. So I wasn't using it in the regular sense, and it had a zero balance. And then next thing you know, they closed the account. They just closed it. They didn't give me a warning about it. But
Mm,
last year they were closing accounts, and then they were cutting, they were slashing credit limits. And that's because, they have the rights to do that.
absolutely. All right, all right. Well, is anything else you wanted to add before we close the stream?
No, that is it. I really appreciate you for letting me on, and y'all have a good night.
No worries. All right, all right. Well, I'm going to close the stream, but shout out to you and thank you again for jumping on a panel at the moment notice. But I'm happy we were able to make this happen.
Right.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
All right, guys, that was it for today. Recap: what did we learn? Personal finance. You got to work on your hey, whether your goals, right? Your main goals can be um let me see. I actually wrote it down. Yeah, your emergency fund between 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. Make sure, depending on your personality. Second, work on your budget planning, manage your expenses. And this is where, shout out to Gail for pointing this out here. This is where the budget planner comes in. If you want, you can get Tasha's budget planner. She worked very hard on that, and she's very passionate as well. And you can even check her channel too. So work on that budget planner. That's the main plan. And lastly, on your personal finance, this is my own twist to it. It's not conventional, but don't prioritize paying off your budget as fast as possible, paying the bare minimum, but put a lot of that money into saving it for like stock or crypto. Definitely crypto, depending on your timing. But I go over the timing, guys, right? It's not every year that is the best year for crypto. I go over the timing in deep details in my course and in my Patreon as well. We keep track of it, we monitor that. So the Patreon is new, but my exclusive Discord, we go over all that. And the only way you can access that right now is via the Patreon. So we go over the timing, guys. So if you are interested into saving for the purpose of investing in crypto, definitely want to encourage you to join in that community. With that said, guys, we went over this financial statement, understanding assets, liabilities, income and expenses, cash flow, mixing all that with your expenses, and then working towards your goal. What is that goal? At the end of the day, you're working towards having your minimum living expenses paid by the cash flow from your investment without having to sell your investment, right? If you could achieve that, you achieve financially, in a way, in some level, you achieve financial freedom, and then you can work your way towards full financial independence. All right. With that said, guys, thank you for your time. Thank you to all the sponsors of this stream, Mr. Big Bad Bull, Peter Investor M for his contribution, and definitely big shout out to Before the Billion with the strong 1999 super chat and the official sponsor of the stream. And thank you again. We'll meet on the next stream. We'll connect Sunday, and Gail, if you're still here, I'm available now. I'm closing the stream and I'm ready for you ready when you are. With that said, I will meet on the next one.
Boss, yeah. JC, bring that fire. Mentally taking you higher. Get the cash flow that you desire. Building that wealth, I should call you sire. You about to run it, I know it. We steady growing, this is the moment. You gotta subscribe, cause you don't wanna miss it. Wealth engineering, it's time to get it. Wealth engineering. Stacking and stacking it up. It's time to generate wealth. Till you living like Scrooge McDuck. Hey, wealth engineering. It's time to show you the game. Till you living like Richie Rich. Till you ballin' like Bruce Wayne. Hey.